But I also understand that an ex-international, Jide Olugbodi, started by. Jide, it's nice to have you on the program Sports Desk.
It's a pleasure to always be with you guys.
Well, Jide, I know you're not happy with recent ranking of the Super Eagles, fifth in Africa, and the Federation of International Football Association have also been talking about the 2026 FIFA World Cup tournament. Will Nigeria be there or not? That's what over 200 million Nigerians are indeed asking at this stage. But the first thing at this point is, who will be the coach of the Super Eagles? How important is it for us to get it right when it comes to a coach for the national team, Jide?
Thank you. The coach is the driver of the team. The coach gets on the bus and he takes the players to the destination. It takes all Nigerians there. So it's important for us to get it right. I believe we need a coach that is qualified, through his credentials. So when I say that, I mean someone who's accomplished something somewhere. I mean, this is Nigerian football team we're talking about. We need someone who has earned the stripes to coach the caliber of players we have. Because I've been in dressing rooms. You source the coaches out the first training session. When you know that the coach comes with the experience, the pedigrees, you listen. You want to learn. So that is very important. We need a coach that's earned the stripes as well. And let's face it, European experience is probably what we're looking for. Europe is the mirror for world football. Even the South Americans, they've abandoned Samba and Jogo Bonito for European kind of tiki-taka with steel. So yes, I think we need to look towards hiring an experienced European coach, someone who's got the man management skills as well to manage our players and our football, and someone who's hungry enough, who wants to achieve something. Because we want someone who's hungry, who can do something with the crop of players we have. I still believe we have a talented pool of players and his results that can bring the others in as well. And of course, we need a coach who can make the right decisions at the right moment. Someone who sees the opportunities and who sees it, because it's not easy. It's a tough ask. But if you want to coach the Nigerian national team, hey, you have to come with something. You need to bring something to the table. And I think those are some of the things we need to be looking for.
Well, Jide, when you say you need to have something and bring something to the table, I'm sure you're talking about a grade A coach. You're talking about some of the best coaches in world football today. And if I understand that, even though when the coaching is about hiring and firing, you're talking about coaches in the mode of Carlo Ancelotti. Even when the likes of Jose Mourinho in recent time is being sacked here and there, what can deny the fact that he still earns respect from the biggest players in world football? And when you talk about what is expected of the Super Eagles, are you saying coaches in this mode, Jide?
First of all, Nigeria as a nation, first thing is we need to decide how much we want to give for a coach. And even though, yes, I believe that a grade A coach, put it that way, would take us probably further than another, I'm also of the opinion that football is scientific nowadays. If you take, for example, Pep Guardiola, and no disrespect to any team, but you put them to Sheffield United, what would he do with them? He won't do much. But if you have the caliber of players that he's got in Man City and you give it to him, he'll do something with it. So give me the eggs and let me make the omelette. Now, what it is in Nigerian football, we've got talented players. So I remember in the days of Westerhoff was not a grade A coach. Humphrey Joe wasn't as well. But they achieved so much for Nigerian football. So we don't necessarily need that grade A coach because we've got a pool of talented players. We just need an experienced coach who's probably, in the mold of becoming as well, that can actually say, look, I'm hungry. I need to make a name. And nobody knew Jose Mourinho before he arrived on the scene. He wasn't a grade A coach, but he actually proved himself by going to a team like Porto, making the best of those players, and he became a grade A coach. So we can also source for coaches like that. They're all over the world. I mean, there are not enough jobs nowadays for the amount of talented coaches we have. when you think Zidane is out of a job. So there's so many coaches out there that we can go for, but it's just getting it right and making sure that when we're bringing someone to the table, they say success leaves footprints. So anybody we're bringing to the table must have a footprint that we can follow and say, look, this is what we can see. This is what is done. This is what we think will happen. Then when we follow those footprints, we will get to the destination, I'm sure.
You made mention of the days of Westerhoff. And Jide, let's take a look at this critically, because it seems to a large extent we've lost the culture. And I may not be right. You played the game, and you probably could make some corrections in this instance. During the days of Westerhoff, the likes of John Fashion, tried getting into the Super Eagles. He couldn't break into the team. But one man who was a former roadside mechanic, Rashidi Yekini, he was playing in Cote d'Ivoire. Yekini was not playing in Europe. Thompson Olia was playing in Cote d'Ivoire. But today, the culture probably that we've seen is that if you're playing in England, France, and in the top leagues, automatically you're good enough for the Super Eagles. And probably I felt Shuaibu Amodu also took some of the strategy of Westerhoff by ensuring that players who understood Nigerian football, most importantly those who also have the experience of the league, formed part of the Super Eagles team. I recall at some point in time when we were struggling to go to the World Cup, the entire backline of the Super Eagles was changed. And the likes of Eric Ejiofor, were brought in. Is it about the fact that we don't have quality players in Nigeria anymore? Or is it about the fact that the best players are in Europe today? What exactly is the issue of our players?
So, it's funny you mentioned these names because Rashid Yakini was like a big brother to me. I actually played with him during the summer holidays when we had the summer breaks from Europe at the time, and he was like a mentor. So when you look at them, in our time, football was different. Let me address the first issue. That is the issue of today versus then. When we played football, even if they didn't pay us, we would play because we loved the game. We had a passion for the game and we wanted to get better. And the difference or the distance, let me say the distance between the Nigerian Football League and the European League was just the technical abilities and the tactical things you had to incorporate to yourself. So a player could actually leave Nigeria and within 3 months, they'll be playing for a top club in Europe. We've seen it with so many of us and so many players of that era. So that's the first thing. So it won't be difficult for a Westerhoff or someone to go into the Nigerian League and bring a player into the national team. And all you just had to teach that player was tactics, and a bit of more technical input as well. So it was different. Coach Amoju Shuaibu gave me my first call up to the national team. He trained me with Shooting Stars then. He saw what I had. And all he just thought was, okay, this guy just needs to improve on this and that. And then he goes to the next level. And he goes with so many players in our generation. But nowadays, the players are more of, they like the social media. They like the social life. So players play football mostly. I'm sorry to say this, 75% of them, I stand corrected, play it for the money now and the fame. But when we played because of the love. And we had the Ramat Cups, the Youth Fund, the Academicals, the Governors Cup, Principals Cup, and so many things to showcase our talents. But all that has disappeared now. So when you take a player from Nigeria now, they've got a lot to learn to get into Europe and start playing as a majority of them. So you have that first challenge. So in saying that, the coach that comes in, yes, will probably look at players that are ready in that code. Players who already have the tactical knowledge, the technical know-how, and he believes they're playing for the top leagues. It's a different competition. So it's easier to assimilate those players in the national team, than take players from the local league as well. So I think that's where the difference, is between that generation and now. And it's down to all of us to bridge that gap. Let's get the games back to the youths, to the grassroots. Let's change the face of our league as well, make it competitive. and then we will see a result, transcending into the Super Eagles as well.
All right. Well, Bolu Omaniyi joins the show at this point. Bolu, it's all about talks of the Super Eagles, the coach, the players. We can't deny the fact that there is a problem at this point in time, judging by results. Some are fixing the problem, and the most important thing is fixing the solution. And they've also said that the 2026 World Cup ticket is non-negotiable. They used to say it that way.
Well, initially it was not negotiable, but now based on what we have, it feels like we just have to start. I've gone to buy my scientific calculator, not just any calculator, a scientific that you need to put the sine, the cosine, and tan, because that's what it's now. We are looking at if our opposition play each other, if they draw or this and that. The question I keep asking is, are we even good enough to win all our games? If the Super Eagles of Nigeria win their 6 remaining games, believe me, and they will qualify for the World Cup. But we need to wake up now. Yes, I'm hearing things of the qualifiers is still far. Next year, March. We still have qualifiers for Africa Cup of Nations looking right at us. Like Jide has said, we need to start appointing our coach or coaches now. The coaching crew, I'm a fan of, instead of going for the minnows in terms of the foreign coaches, just get a local person that will understand the game and everything. But based on what we have now, whoever is going to take charge, let it be someone that has something, that has substance. You can't go. I read a story that Roberto Landi wants to coach. Landi 68.
Failed in Liberia.
Exactly. His last job was like 12 years.
Failed in Ghana.
Those are not the kind of... If we cannot get the best of the best, at least let it be someone that has substance. Like Jide Riley, someone that has achieved something, or there's a trajectory somewhat, there's a style that I can attribute to this person, or this is a style. This is what I'm bringing. Not it's a dream. We don't want dreamers. Someone, because Nigeria now, the only thing you can use to appease the Super Eagles, or Nigerians now, first of all, qualify for the World Cup, and if possible, win the next African Cup of Nations. If not, it's going to be hard, and we need a coach now. Next qualifiers or next window is till September. September is very far, but it's not far. It's just a few months away. We had the same problem with Finidi George. We knew we were going to take the same Finidi.
In February, when Pesero left.
Exactly. We 2 months before announcing. Now we are still here again. If you are still searching and still thinking, journalists are the ones giving us rumors. It feels like the problem is not what we are solving. We need to go to the root of it to find a solution to it.
Jide, finally, how soon is early enough in appointing a new coach for the Super Eagles? Or are you of the opinion that it is extremely late to appoint a coach for the Eagles?
We need to do it like yesterday. I agree with what Bolu said as well. I mean, they say a stitch in time saves 9. In this case, it's going to save Nigeria. We need to appoint. We need to go in there, make it quick. And we need to appoint a coach that the players will respond to. That is what is most important now. Because if the players don't buy into it, then it's already a failed vision from the start. So we need to get it right now. As he said, September is just around the corner. We can't wait any longer.
Hi. Man, I can't shed tears. The Eagles struggling. I think it's high time I ought to indeed apologize to former coaches of the Super Eagles, because the 1994 team probably gave us this perception that we can always stroll into any tournament, especially during the qualifiers, and get results. But then it's not been so. I must say a very big thank you, Jide, for finding out time to talk to us on the show. It's always a pleasure, and let's hope that the Eagles will get it right on the field of play. Well,
TVC Sport Desk.